Hey, on his journey. So, at 14, I nearly died. So, I was feeling really overwhelmed at the time, I can remember. It started off by me having some red spots on my skin. So, mom took me to the doctor and he said that I had worms, so we did a worm out. Still kept on feeling sick. Second week, I started having headaches, and going over a period of time, the headaches kept on getting worse. Then I went to school and I was smiling, and somebody said, blood is in your mouth. So I went to the nurse's office and I gargled with salt water, and they sent me back to class. My period started at school and I changed, and within 15 to 20 minutes it was full because I have two type, the overnight one and the regular one. So the regular one was full. So I went back to class, and while in class I felt like I was full again. I asked the teacher, can I go? She said to me that no, you cannot go out the class because listen, on a time for go to the class. So I lift up my dress and I sat back on the seat. And crazily, when I got up, there was like blood on the seat. So I had to hurry up and get a tissue bit and wipe it before anybody could see. After class got dismissed, went, changed, put on the bigger one and another one at the back. Put on a clean underwear and a new tights because I pack heavy. I travel with everything. So it took me 45 minutes to reach to St. Elizabeth because it's like 20 minutes drive to my home and then some minutes from Belfield High School. During the weekend, my head started getting worse. They had to turn off the television, the lights, everything. In the morning, I I was transferred to the hospital. When I reached the hospital, they do the blood test. My blood count was way down. I didn't have any platelets in my body to clot the blood. So the doctor says that, hey, this girl won't survive through the night, mother. And mom started screaming, and then I guess after that I kind of went in and out, dozing off. And mom said I started speaking gibberish, and the next morning I could hear the van, and I hear a vehicle, and I heard them talking, saying that they're going to transfer me to UE and see what they can do there. I remember reaching UE and two men were bringing me, and I could remember them putting me down. I mean, the men didn't even reach the ground and they dropped the stretcher. So I was, even more aware of what was going on because of the pain when they dropped me. I remember the doctor saying she won't make it through a week, and my mom started calling family members, and I remember hearing them come in. I went back to sleep. My mom said I slept like for 2 days straight. Then I remember waking up to a sharp pain. They were cutting out the bone marrow from my back, and it was so painful. Then I do practically go off again. Some days I woke up to the smell of beer rum. My aunt spraying and rubbing me down with beer rum and so forth and so on. And my aunt was like, oh, we gotta put on the diaper, she has to use diaper now, and so forth, because I can't get up out of bed, I can't do anything, I can't help myself. Let's start checking if I had leukemia and the whole works. So I had a brain scan to do, which run $10,000-15,000 at the time. My mother went to the school, and the school donated that money for the brain scan. Big up Belfield. And this was in like 1999, somewhere thereof. And so I eventually, weeks came on, I had requested to see my friends from school. After I requested them, I went blind. And when I couldn't, I had to say, Mom, my eyes are open, but I can't. No, I said, Mommy, is my eyes open? And she said, yes. And I said, I can't see anything. So they call in the doctors, and the doctors said, well, she's temporarily blind. So she has to get a blood transfusion, right? And at the time, I heard my parents talking that a young lady was given the blood transfusion and she got HIV. And that was a rumor, by the way. I didn't see this young lady. I don't know, right? So everybody was scared and so forth. But from a young age, I have been getting dreams, and I know when things are going to be good and when things aren't going to be good. And I just knew that everything would have been okay. And I, from a very young age, I had such an amazing faith in God. Like, I would go to school late almost every day. And not my fault still now, because I wake up early and I just happen to be late. So I was actually late for school all the time, and I would pray and say, Jesus, by the time I reach school, please let the guardian let me in. Mighty God, please let me find favor. And guess what? You always work. So my friends used to mock me and call me the principal of the school. But anyways, back to the hospital. So in the hospital, I was diagnosed with ITP, immune thrombocytopenia purpura. It's when your body does not produce enough, I can't remember the name right now, but your platelet does not, no, your blood don't produce enough platelets to clot the blood. So I wasn't clotting a lot. My clotting process was very slow because the platelet count was like at 50 something. So I was in I was in trouble. So coming on, I had requested for my friends. I requested for one specifically, but she didn't come. I and the two that came, I I'm not sure if I ever told them thank you, but I was really grateful because at the time Glacier Robinson song came out. It's not over now, and Hold My Hands, and those were the two songs that got me through all of this, And they sang, they sung it, and I just started having more faith. And then one night I went to my bed and I dreamt that there was a big light, and I went to it and I'm running, and meanwhile I look through the door, and everything looked pretty over there, and I reached to the door and there was a man standing there, but I'm looking up and I know I can't see this man's face, pure light coming through because the door was slightly open. And the man said to me, my child, it's not your time as yet. Your journey has not ended as yet. Go back. You have much to do. And I'm like peeping around and I say, sir, but round here look pretty and I want to come. And he said, no, go back. And I remember waking up and I remember telling my mother the dream, and she was like, for real, you dreamed that? And my aunts were like, for real? And I said, yes. And I said, and they were there talking, and the doctor, she was quite worried. And I said to her the evening, Mommy, don't worry. I'm going to be fine. I know I'm going to be fine. And weeks went by with testing and testing and more testing until they finally just left it at ITP. And I was discharged. I was in there probably a month, and then they discharged me. And that was like my first miracle, from going to die in 1 week, going to die in 2 weeks, from not knowing what was wrong with me, and I'm constantly sick, from going blind, and they had to practically teach me to walk again. So one day I got up, and on this specific day I said to them, listen, I'm gonna walk today. I want to walk today. I want to bathe myself today. And I got up from the bed, and a nurse ran, and she came over and she said, no, you can't walk. You can't walk. If you drop, you're going to die because you're going to bleed to death. And I said to the young lady, I said to the nurse, no, I'm not going to die. I'm fine. And she said, all right, none of the seniors are here, so I'm going to help you, and don't tell anybody. And I said, okay, I won't tell anybody. And this nurse, she held me by the arm, and another one set the chair in the bathroom for me under the shower. And this woman, she held me so close, and she started saying, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie in green pastures. And she continued repeating that psalm straight through until I was back in my bed. This was a praying nurse. I mean, God sent people in the time of need and in the time of trouble. I didn't know much about God because I didn't really go to church very often. And when I went, I knew that Jesus saves as long as you believe. And that's what I got from it before I drop asleep in church. So, that was just my faith. Jesus heals. And when I heard her start praying, I got the little boost. She was like my cheerleader. So that was my first day of walking, and then they would open a side door where I could step out in the evening, in the afternoons, and get some fresh breeze. I mean, those nurses were nice, and they would bring my clothes to the laundromat because my mom lived in St. Elizabeth, so it was very hard for her to travel from St. Elizabeth to Kingston. So God has favored me throughout the entire journey until I was not sick anymore according to them, and I was able to go home, but with the request that I come to the clinic for 1 year and take my medication for the 1 year, right? So yeah, that's it. That's my first miraculous story. Bye.